Because
Well,
these are the
I also read and
ma'am, because
research.
understand something. Because these are the men who are picking. These are the men who have the means
Mhm.
and the attitude and the desire to get married. And they're not finding women who are fit. See, here's
Yeah,
what you're not missing. Well,
because
first off, I
they
no
don't have
listen, listen,
realistic
listen. No,
expectations.
I'm gonna address this point. We're going back to my point. Women
Okay,
are not happy and what they're doing is not working. Whose responsibility is it to change this situation?
women,
Right. And they're not doing it. So if women are unhappy, it's women's responsibility to change it.
right?
And the first thing they can change is what they see in the mirror, but they're not.
Welcome to A Good Woman Can Find a Good Man. I'm Dion L. White, the author. We're reacting to a Kevin Samuels video. But before we get started, like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Roll the clip!
And men are tired of hearing this. Sorry, sir. You've got the credit rating. Okay, so let's take it your way.
Okay.
The problems with the men, the problems with the expectations. So don't say shit when he go marry Becky.
Well, what about when she go marry John?
Nobody. Black men don't complain when black women marry out.
Well, it
Black
doesn't
women.
happen that often.
Well,
93%
see
of the
that.
times
But
we
no, no,
marry
no, 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 no.
interracial.
See, that's the thing. When I said don't complain when she, because if you said the problems with the expectation, that means the expectation is too high. Then if that's the case, and if he goes and gets it met outside of the race, don't complain because he made the expectation clear that he wanted. You have an opportunity to hear the expectation immediate. You chose not to. He took his business elsewhere. Don't complain.
So I just think it's no flexibility. That's all.
Okay. Then why, if there's no flexibility, why are black men in this country 2 million less than you and 847,000 more marriages?
I think that, like you said, men control marriage, right? So
No,
they control that.
the reason
So
is
yeah.
the notion if there was no black men are more married than black women. The inflexibility, Tawana, is on black women's side. You know why? Because no sane human being can tell me that men want women that weigh more than they do at their height. Black men have been consistently saying they want three things from black women for my
So you don't watch
lifetime.
600 Pound Life then?
Okay,
I'm just
no,
saying.
no, I don't because it's
I'm just saying the women all have men.
okay,
I'm just saying you
and that
can't.
and if you expect that, then go get a broke dude.
Listen, I'm not saying that I want to be
Okay, but
600
that's the
pounds.
point. And see, this is
I'm
what
just
happens when
saying
black men say what they want. It becomes a joke.
it's
Everybody,
not a
every other group,
joke.
yeah, it really isn't. I don't take it as a joke because every other group of men can make expectations and demands of their women. Black women almost want us to act like a hyena clan, where there's a matriarchy, where we do what the women say. Well, men aren't doing it. Bottom line is, men have said enough. Black men have been asking for my generation, the previous generation, and the generations after for three simple things from women: cooperation. Black women have become far less cooperative in my lifetime. Fitness. 8 out of 10 black women are overweight, and 80% of that number is obese. Failed that number too. And then just wear your own natural hair. We got a $10 billion hair care market, and yet our boys are at the bottom. I said this: take 9 billion of that money you put on your head, put it into your boys to raise a better crop of men. Because if you don't give a shit about the men who are walking around right now, fine, we ain't shit. We're all horrible. What about the boys? You
It's
cannot
just
build.
it's
You
going to be a
cannot
challenge.
build, huh?
It's going to be a challenge for them if
Why?
they are only focused on those superficial things. That's
No,
all
it's
I'm
going to be a
saying.
challenge for them if they're folk. If they're, it's going to be a challenge for them if they're raised by the same women who are inflexible with the men, with the adult males.
I
You
mean,
keep going back to the men being the problem, and I'm sorry, the data, the overwhelming reality is the problem is on the inflexibility of the women's side.
my data suggests that, also men do marry women who are less attractive because they are more emotionally available to them. And men like their ego stroke. They like to feel good when they're in a relationship. So I also saw that that's the opposite. So that's what I'm saying is that we have this idea and this conception
And when do
of
they marry these women?
most. I mean, you talking about men, high value men, they may be in their 40s right?
No,
Wanting
no, no, no,
these
no.
thick, cooperative women.
See, this is where the argument becomes disingenuous. High value men, if you see them with average women, I've said this hundreds of times. They got them early. They married early on in life, and that woman worked that way up, built with that man, was his partner. So she got her man because she delayed her gratification and was there as a part of his success. Many women today will tell you they don't want to build a bread or build a boo. They want you to already have it. So that's fine. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: when a man puts himself and becomes in the top 10% of earners, he is going to have options. And men who have options worldwide, you look at what men worldwide pick to marry after they're rich, and it is traditionally younger, hotter, fitter women.
Okay, but think about this. If they
Is that
have
true or
options,
false?
why are they
Is that true or
struggling
false?
to
Is that
find
true or false?
women?
Before you move on, is that true or false?
It could be true. I think it's true. Okay, so let's move on from that. Why are they still struggling to find women and partners? And then
Who?
also, if they
Who's
want
struggling
these
to find
physical
women and
things,
partners? Who? Who's struggling to find women
these
and partners?
men, you said that they came to you for this advice on how to find these women, right? They're struggling with their love life. Why? If they have all these things, that's what I'm saying. It's something
Hold
else
on,
missing,
listen.
Kevin.
No. See, that's where
Yes.
you no, that's where you are partial listening. They're
Okay.
not finding women on their level. I didn't say they were struggling. What they're doing is expanding their dating options because black women, most people want to marry their own people.
They
But if you
unrealistic.
but no,
That's why.
hold on.
That's why.
You
They
can't even let me.
unrealistic.
You can't even let me answer. You
I'm
want to
sorry.
again?
I'm
Men
sorry.
are
I thought you was done.
men.
I thought you was
No,
done.
men are tired of you. No, when a man has made himself the best version of himself, and he looks around and he looks and says, "You know what? I at least want a woman who's fit."
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't get a woman who is, what is the average weight of a black woman in this country?
You asking me? I don't know.
187 pounds.
Okay.
And what is the average weight of the American man? 168 pounds. The average black woman is almost 20 pounds more than a man. So when men have to go to college or go to blue collar, get a job, career, get out there, hustle, whatever, and all he's asking is, can you just be fit? So I can have a woman who has another 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds to put on after childbirth. They can't even get that. That's the struggle. Not that women don't exist, is that the women don't exist in the way that they need to exist. And you got to tell me that there is a reason that a single woman with no children is 200 plus pounds.
Well, I'm not justifying that. And obviously,
It can't be
I do think,
justified.
no, I think that being fit and being beautiful and being cooperative is essential in a relationship. Do I think that is the only thing that you
Doesn't
need to
matter.
look for in
But
a
who
woman?
said it's the only
No.
thing? But if it's a starting point, but see, that's the thing.
It's a starting point. It's the
you keep
initial
going
thing.
back. You keep going back. Okay, and if it's the starting point and it matters, 8 out of 10 black women are automatically deleted. There are women who are advocates for dating out, swirling, who even would say, you know what? I had to stop talking to my women about fitness to even incent them to dating out. It's not that they won't get fit for black men; they won't get fit for any men.
But you also have to understand that every man has their own standard of beauty. And so,
This
you
is what
may
we do.
feel
We
like,
keep going
so
back
you
to
judge women based on.
okay, then if that's the case, we shouldn't have Miss Universe or people's most beautiful person. That's a point
win
looking for an
the
argument.
most beautiful.
Okay, but there is.
They have other things.
Hold on.
That makes them.
If that's the case, then why do we have so much facts, data and statistics, psychology on beauty? Why do we have such a plethora of studies done with animals and babies, showing them pictures of faces and faces that have the Fibonacci sequence, feed the golden ratio, more symmetrical faces, more babies smile at those pictures worldwide, regardless of race. Because beauty is not subjective like so many people want to think. It's objective. There's an objective standard of beauty. But then today we've given everybody trophies, said everybody can win. And the reality is, Tawana, if what women is doing is working, why are 1 in 4 women today on some sort of psych med? And their happiness is through the roof and through the floor.
Yeah, I'm not saying that what women are doing is working.
Then who needs
what
to
I'm
change
saying is the narrative that
it's not my narrative, man. That's the facts, ma'am. If they're not happy, if they're not happy, if they're not happy, whose
opinion.
responsibility is? If those women are not happy, those educated, intelligent, equal women, whose responsibility is it for them to change?
I mean, but you're telling me that
whose responsibility is it for them to change?
These highly successful men are not finding the women that they want.
No, ma'am. That's
on their level.
Nope. You're now you're gaslighting. I'm back. Nope. I've already addressed that. You trying to make something out of
I'm gaslighting.
Yeah, because I've already said what I said. I said they can't find women who are. No, ma'am. I've already said that these men are not finding women.
Also, I can't finding women. They're not fit.
I said they're finding women. They're not fit. Let me say it again. They are finding available females. They're not fit. They failed the fitness test. That disqualifies them. And what you're saying is, well, look it up. Okay, no. Okay, well then, how many hundreds of thousands of men have you spoke to on this issue?
Well, I haven't spoken to thousands of men, but I've spoken to a number of them.
Okay.
And
well, if I've spoken to thousands of men over close to 10 years, I would take my thousands over 10 years versus your few. Because understand something. Because these are the men who are picking. These are the men who have the means and the attitude and the desire to get married. And they're not finding women who are fit. See, here's what you're not missing. Well, first off, listen. No, I'm going to address this point. We go back to my point. Women are not happy and what they're doing is not working. Whose responsibility is it to change this situation?
Women.
Right. And they're not doing it. So if women are unhappy, it's women's responsibility to change it.
Right.
And the first thing they can change is what they see in the mirror, but they're not.
Men are unhappy and they're not changing either. So what do we do?
Men are bitching. Men aren't complaining.
Have you heard?
No. You're talking, no, ma'am. For 40 years, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, Oprah, Donahue, we have had daytime talk is littered with, we're all the good men. I can't find no men. Just because in the last few months you've seen some MGTOW incel videos, you cannot make that substitute for damn near 50 years of I can't find no man. Men are tired. And what you keep doing is going back to saying, well, men aren't the problem. Men know what they want. Women aren't giving men what they want. And men aren't taking the deal. That's where it is.
Well, I think women are very
about this. Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Two things.
Go ahead.
When you adjust for working men, working women, 1-to-1, but when you add one more variable in the Black community, working man with no kids, working Black woman with kids, there are more Black women working with kids than men over here with no children. Basically, what I'm telling you is if you are a man out here, you are finding a woman that has one of these two things off rip, overweight or a child.
Okay.
That disqualifies you from high value. So then and those two things can be controlled, true or false?
Absolutely. False.
Well,
true.
Well, okay. Well, so if a woman says, I want a man who can pay all the bills, I want all these things, and you want a provider male, then it's only fair to say you got to ask the man who has these things, what does he want from a woman? And he says he wants a woman who's fit and childless. You can't get mad at him and say, well, that's superficial.
Okay. Well, if we go to the pool and we see that the pool of women, honey.
Okay.
If we see that all of these characteristics that they have decided they want are just unrealistic, right? Or she can be fit and ignorant, or she could be cooperative and don't care about you. So all I'm saying is, if they're looking at these characteristics and not finding what they want, when do they go back and say, let me rethink this?
Well, see,
the
presumption is, the presumption you keep making is they look at this pool of women and every woman over here has, they're this or they're that. Okay, but there are plenty of pools of women. See, we live in a connected world. That's what the dating apps are for. You got men moving out of the country, the Dominican Republic, going other places to find women, dating outside their race, They're finding it. They can't find it in Black America.
But 85% of them are marrying Black women. So there must be some.
Again, those are two different numbers. I deal with men who are high value. You're blending conversations and conflating arguments. I'm talking about men who have enough, who can make demands.
And what percentage of them exists? Because I don't know. You tell me. Black men
that earn over 6 figures, 8% in the Black community, but over $75,000, 15% in the Black community. Mm-hmm. These men aren't complaining about not being able to find women. They prefer to marry Black women. And here's the real thing. Black men are far more race loyal than Black women. If Black women could date out like Black men can, it's you can make a strong argument that they would. There is no black male swirl movement. Black men have been trying to be with Black women. That's why you find a Black man who's been married, divorced. And then you turn around and say, well, fine, I'll start expanding my dating options. And here's the thing. I don't judge people by what they want. I just said, what's the likelihood of you getting what you want? And it is far easier for a man to come to me and me say, you know what? You need to get your money up. You need to get your mind right. You need to get your money up. You need to get your body right. You need to get all these things together. And then you can come back out here. And then men will be like, all right, break. I'm going to come back later. You tell women the same thing. You're shaming me. Well, why can't I have this? Look, the first woman I talked to kept on asking, why? The women don't want to change because you've been told, take me as I am. I'm good enough.
The women who call you, if you're not mentally stable, they don't even know who they are. Okay. See, I cannot allow you to do that. They don't.
No, I cannot allow you to do that because you're basically saying that this is where we're going to have a problem because this is when you step in and say, those women are challenged. That's why I say you come after my audience and that's wrong.
And I don't come after your audience,
no, ma'am. And
I don't.
That is not even close to being cool. You have made a psychological adjustment. They got to be something wrong. Got to be wrong with them that they calling in for this. No, maybe just because you wouldn't do it, but there are a lot of things that you wouldn't do that somebody else would do. Just say it ain't for you. Don't sit around and say there's something psychologically wrong with them.
I don't think that it's for me, and I'm not trying to judge them, but I do think that you have to have some mental stability to handle some of your criticism. I think it could be damaging to a woman who is mentally unstable.
Are you serious?
Some of them sound
so what about what women do to men? I don't want no scrubs. Ain't nothing going on with the men. Who is more mentally and verbally abusive, men or women?
You asking me, in my opinion?
Yeah. Where's nuclear rejection come from? Is that a term that comes from men to women or women to men?
I think men are definitely.
And thank you for proving what I said initially. Most problems today with women is you don't know or understand men. You don't know them. So to say that you think men are more verbally and mentally abusive when you can see a woman who's 5 foot nothing cussing a 300-pound man out, you son of a punk bitch, you really.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Okay, audience, for us to live in the real world, whether you've seen it in person, you know it happens. You don't see men yelling at a woman like that because
I'm just saying that
even if a man were to be like that, someone would step in. There are countless videos on YouTube where they have acting teams where men are being violent to a woman in a public place and people swoop in to help a woman. But when that woman's being verbally violent to that man, people walk by. Bottom line is this.
I'm gonna look into that. I don't know nothing about that.
Let me also say something too, because you said something about the people who call in can be damaged. Well, I assume that they are. If you're calling in and asking for a high value man, you're productive, competitive, got your grease up and so forth. You should know where you stand. But I also, what's one of the main things I recommend everybody get?
Counseling.
Right.
I've heard you suggest that. Yeah.
So my question is this. You've asked me 11 million questions, run upside down, one side the other. When are you going to start going to any of these black women on YouTube who give relationship advice and start asking them some of the same hard questions?
Oh, I definitely hold women accountable. You don't,
but I said on YouTube.
Have to question that.
But on YouTube. I have not heard. I looked through all the catalog on Let's Talk. I have not seen anybody else's name.
Well, we got to work on the questions. Maybe we'll work on that.
But see, the thing is, they don't really exist. Black men are being asked to be perfect, and I reject the. See, everybody else can. Every other group of men are allowed to be fully human. Black men have to be damn near perfect, and it still ain't good enough. And even if I'm 2 + 2 is 4, well, he's divorced. Bottom line is, it's getting results. People are getting what they want out of it.
Black women have to be perfect. You guys are already saying you can't even have a kid, and you know that most Black women do. So it's like we can't. We have to be damn near perfect. Let me stop you right there.
Was that child as a result of art? Was that child as a result of forcible RP?
No, but it could be a result of marriage.
Well, that should probably no. Those are two different things. Those are two different things. A single mother has been divorced, but only 1 in 4 Black women marry. But if you come to me with another man's child, and I've been a stepfather, it's a horrible deal. See, the fact of the matter is, you guys expect Black men just to accept somebody else's.
No, you guys don't want.
Due respect, man. Have you been around? No, listen.
We're not perfect.
Listen, no, I said about perfect, but it's just reasonable. Have you been around Chinese men, Asian men?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I want you, when next time you're around Asian men, I want you to see how many Asian men ask them, would you accept a woman who has a child out of a single mother? They'll laugh at you. Ask a Middle Eastern man. Black men are the men. See, what I don't think is many Black women don't realize how lucky you are to have Black men. Because by all the measures, Black men make the most involved fathers and the best mates. That's why so many women from other cultures who have real patriarchies and real things going on rush to try to get Black men, because we are more willing to listen to our women. But what do Black men get for that? They've gotten larger women who are more aggressive, less cooperative, and more kids. So do you, with a straight face, you can say that you should be able to come to a man who has had to work his ass off to put himself in the top 10% of men and think he should have to pay for another man's child who's not an asset to him. That's insane.
This man will surely be missed, but the Godfather lives on. Leave your thoughts, opinions, likes, and dislikes in the comment section below, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.